Now, let us begin our class with Brahmanad. Om. Om. Shanti. 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 Swastha. Good morning, children. Today we will discuss the poem The Ballad of Father Gilligan by William Butler Yeats. He is also known as W.B. Yeats. He was born in 1865 and passed away in 1939. He was an Irish poet, dramatist and mystic. Do you know what does mystic mean? Mystic means relating to secret things, causing the feelings of fear and wonder. Let me tell you again the meaning of mystic. What does mystic mean? Mystic means relating to secret things, causing feelings of fear and wonder. So he was also a mystic. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1923. In 1923, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Now, let us go through the poem The Ballad of Father Gilligan. This poem is in ballad form. What is a ballad? A ballad is a narrative poem, usually sung with short stanzas that tell us a story. Clear? Let me write on the board. What is a ballad? A ballad is a narrative poem. B-A-L-L-A-D. Ballad is a narrative poem usually sung with short stanzas. Short stanzas that tell us a story. If a story is written in the form of a poem, we call it a ballad. Understood? What did I tell you? If a short story is written in the form of a poem, it is known as the ballad. Or a ballad is a narrative poem usually sung with short stanzas that tell us a story. Clear? Here the poet William Butler Yeats narrates a profoundly meaningful story, and it has a more overtly means openly, overtly means not concealed or openly, a religious content than most of his poems. Here in this poem, the story is about a tired priest. The poem or the story is about a priest who, being emotionally and physically worn out, the O-R-N, worn out means became unfit, or you can say also exhausted or fatigue, and fell into deep slumber. Slumber, you know, slumber means sleep, deep sleep or sleep. So what have you understood? The story is about a priest who, being emotionally and physically worn out, fell into deep slumber. As he woke up, he was horrified by the fact that he could not make it to the bedside of the sick man before he died. Being a priest, it was his duty to be the bedside of a sick person at the time of his death and perform the rites of blessings. Rites of blessings means RITES, rites of blessings. Rites of blessings is a ceremonial act, a ceremonial act. Clear? And that no one had performed the rites of blessings for the dying. The divine presence or the sacred presence in the guise of the priest is an affirmation of a loving and kind God. Now let us study the poem and find out how the poet W.B. Yeats glorifies God. Glorifies, you know, glorifies. Glorifies means praises in adoration. Praises in adoration. Now let us go through the first stanza of the poem. The old priest Peter Gilligan was weary night and day. Weary, W-E-A-R-Y. Weary means tired, tired, or fatigue, F-A-T-I-G-U-E, fatigue. See, Peter Gilligan was a priest by profession. At the same time, he was an old man. The old priest Peter Gilligan. So what was Peter Gilligan by profession? By profession, he was a priest. In Christianity, priests are called fathers. Since he was a priest, he was called Father Gilligan. Why was Peter Gilligan called Father Gilligan? Because Father Gilligan belonged to Christian community. In Christianity, priests are called fathers. As he was a priest, he was called Father Gilligan. He was tired night and day. He was tired, he was weary. He was weary night and day. Now the question arises, why was he weary? Why was he tired round the clock? Why was he weary night and day? Listen, there broke out a strange kind of disease in his parish. Parish, you know, P-A-R-I-S-H. Parish means locality around the church. Around the church. So there broke out a strange kind of disease in the parish of Peter Gilligan. As a result, many of the parishioners, people who reside in a parish, are called parishioners. So half of the parishioners were in their sick beds. In their beds means in their sick beds. Half of the parishioners, half of the flock. Here it is written for half his flock. Flock is a collective noun. Usually we say a group of sheep. A group of sheep, S-H-E-E-P. A group of sheep are called flock. If the parishioners are called flock, then Father Gilligan will be called the shepherd. If the people or the parishioners are called flock, then what will we call to Peter Gilligan? We will call him as the shepherd. Because half of the people in his parish or half flock in his parish were in their beds, were sick, or under green shorts lay. Sods, you know, SODS. Sods means upper layer of grassland. Upper layer of grassland is called sods. And remember, undersods. Undersods means in grade. Undersods means in grave. Clear? Those parishioners who were dead, they were buried in the grave, upon which green grass is grown. Under green sods lay. That means the parishioners who were dead were buried in the grave, upon which green grass is grown. So the old priest Peter Gilligan was weary night and day, for half his flock were in their sick beds or under green sods lay. Once, while he nodded on a chair at the moth hour of eve, another poor man sent for him, and he began to grieve. Once, while he nodded, see, nodded means what? Nodded means node, doze, D-O-Z-E, nodded, dozed or relaxed. Nodded, N-O-D-D-E-D. Nodded means dozed or relaxed. One day, he returned home early as he felt exhausted. After returning home early, he sat on a chair and he was relaxing himself. While he nodded on a chair, when he was nodding, what was the time? The time was the moth hour of eve. Moth, you know, is a winged, W-I-N-G-E-D, winged insect. Usually we find moths, insects, winged insects at dawn and at dusk in our atmosphere. And when we say at the moth hour of eve means evening time. Moth hour of eve. Eve means here evening, not occasion, or evening time. Clear? One day, Peter Gilligan returned home early. As he was tired, he was sitting on a chair and relaxing himself. And the time was the evening time. So it was the evening time. While he was dozing on a chair, it was the evening time. Once he nodded on a chair at the moth hour of eve. And remember, at the moth hour eve. At the moth hour eve means evening time. Clear? Another poor man sent for him. Sent for, you know, sent for means called. Sent for means sent for. Sent for means called. See, that day he was tired. That was the reason why he returned home early and relaxing himself, sitting on a chair. And time was the evening time. It was the moth hour of eve. At that time, he was called again by another poor man. Poor man means sick man. Poor man means sick man. Clear? While nodding on a chair at the moth hour of eve, he was again called to attend another sick man before his death. But he didn't go. He sent away the man who had come to him to call, so that he would attend another sick man before his death to perform the rites of blessings. As in our religion, What do we think if we read a chapter or two from Bhagavad Gita or the Ramayana by the death bedside of a person, or when the person is on his deathbed, we think the person will get salvation after his death. In Christianity also, people have their own beliefs. They believe if the priest comes and performs the rites of blessings and offers prayers for the dying soul, the person will get salvation after death. Of course, Peter Gilligan didn't go to the house of that sick man that evening because he was tired. And he began to grieve. But what did he do? He began to express his sorrow. He was grief-stricken because people were dying in large number in his parish. And he had to attend them all to perform their rites of blessings before their death. So he was in sorrowful mood and he began to express his sadness, his sorrow. I have no rest, nor joy, nor peace, for people die and die. Thereafter, he complained to God. And what was his complaint? His complaint to God was that he had no rest, no joy, and no peace in life. And how would he have joy, peace, and rest in life as people were dying in large number? Die and die means, write down, dying in large number. Die and die. Die and die means dying in large number. Dying in large number. Since people were dying in large number in his parish, he did not have joy, peace, and rest in life. But he was a priest. Being a priest, he had to attend the sick people before their death in order to perform their rites of blessings. So he realized his mistake. He should have gone to the house of the sick man to perform the rites of blessings before his death, which he did not do. He sent away the man who had come to call him to attend another sick man before his death. As he came to sense, as he realized his mistake, he sought, S-O-U-G-H-T, past tense of seek, he sought forgiveness from Almighty Lord. See, he was a God-fearing person. Father Gilligan or Peter Gilligan was a God-fearing person. He was a sincere and duty-bound person. And he had never neglected his duty. And that day he did not intentionally deny the person that he would not attend the sick man before his death. As he was completely exhausted, he could not go to the house of the sick man before his death to perform the rites of blessings. And after cried he, and after that cried he means he said. To whom did he say? He said to God. And what did he say to God? He said to God, "Oh God, please forgive me. My body spake, not I." Spake. Spake means here spoke. S-P-A-K-E. Spake means spoke. My body spake, not I. My body spoke. My body spoke means my body did not allow me to go to the house of the sick man to perform the rites of blessings before his death. Not I. I did not deny him to attend the sick man and perform the rites of blessings before his death, but it was my body who denied to go to the house of the sick man. It was not my fault, it was the fault of my body. See the difference between I and my body. I and my body. Here the poet takes us to spirituality. He makes us realize about God. I am not body, I am not the hands, I am not the mouth, I am not the legs, I am not the stomach. I was willing, I was ready to go to the house of the sick man to perform the rites of blessings before his death. But my body did not allow me to go there, to the house of the sick man. Of course, he did not go to the house of the sick man to perform the rites of blessings before his death. What did he do then? He knelt in the past tense of kneel, knelt. Usually when we come to the praying posture, we sit on our knees. Similarly, he knelt and leaning on the chair and bending on the chair, he started offering his prayers to Almighty Lord. He knelt and leaning on the chair, he prayed to God. So, coming to the kneeling posture or coming to the praying posture and leaning on the chair, he offered his prayers to the Almighty Lord. And what happened to Peter Gilligan while offering his prayers to Almighty Lord? When we offer our prayers or when we pray to God, we usually close our eyes. Similarly, in the praying posture, while sitting on his knees and closing his eyes, he offered his prayers to the Almighty Lord. He fell asleep. So while offering his prayers to Almighty Lord, he fell asleep. And the moth hour went from the fields. See, time and tide wait for none. Time passed by. That moth hour went from the fields. That means went from the atmosphere, and there spread the darkness all around. It became night. And the moth hour went from the fields, and stars began to beam. And what do we find, or what do we see in the night sky? We see the stars in the night sky. Just when the night comes, at that time we find a few numbers of stars in the sky, and the stars began to peep. Peep, you know, when a person takes a short, quick look, short, secret, quick look, that is called peep. But here, a short, secret, quick look through a hole, through a hole. But here, peep means twinkle. But here the meaning, peep means twinkle. And the stars began to twinkle in the sky. They slowly into millions grew. Here the pronoun they refers to stars. And gradually the stars could be seen in large numbers. They slowly into millions grew. Here grew is the past tense of grow, but here grew means seen. A large number of stars could be seen when the night deepened. They slowly into millions grew, and leaves shook in the wind. Shook, you know, past tense of shake. Shook, moved to and fro. Cool breeze was blowing, and it made the leaves and plants and the creepers of the creepers or plants and trees move here and there. And the leaves shook in the wind. That means the cool breeze provided a comfortable sleep to that tired priest. Though his mind was turbulent, Though he was thinking about that sick man who was on his deathbed and wanted Father Gilligan to go to his house and perform the rites of blessings. Of course, he could not go to the house of the sick man while sitting on the chair and offering his prayers to the Almighty Lord. He fell asleep. Cool breeze was blowing and it provided comforts to whom? To Peter Gilligan. And God covered the world with shade. With shade. Shade means darkness. Write down. Shade. S-H-A-D-E. Shade means darkness. S-H-A-D-E. Shade means darkness. And God covered the world with darkness. And it became night. God covered the world with shade and whispered to mankind. Whispered to mankind. Whispered, you know, to speak in low voice. It does not mean that God comes down and speaks near the ears of the people during the night time in low voice. Whispered to mankind, it means the union of soul with the Supreme Soul. We are all the parts of the Supreme Soul. And during the night time, our souls unites with the Supreme Soul. So it is written here, God whispered to mankind. God covered the world with shade and whispered to mankind. How the night was passed, not known to Peter Gilligan. Upon the time of sparrowship, when the moth came once again. See, moth hour is repeated twice in this poem to focus the rural background. When the moths came once more, as I have said to you, moths are seen in our atmosphere twice, that are at dawn and at dusk. Upon the time of sparrowship, when he opened his eyes, he found that the sparrows were chirping. So he woke up at dawn. Upon the time of sparrowship, when the moths came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor. Stood upright means, write down, stood upright. Stood upright on the floor. It means sprung, S-P-R-A-N-G, sprung to his feet suddenly. Sprung to his feet suddenly. Bitten by a guilty conscience. Bitten by a guilty conscience. Stood upright. At dawn, after waking up, he stood upright on the floor. He sprang to his feet suddenly as he was bitten by a guilty conscience. Mavron, the man has died while I slept on the chair. As I have said to you, he was born in Ireland. He was an Irish poet. So he has used an Irish word, mavron. And what does mavron means? Mavron means expression of sorrow. Expression of sorrow. After waking up early in the morning, he uttered the Irish word, mavron. He expressed very sad as he recalled about that sick man who had called him to attend him before his death. So after waking up this day, early morning, he uttered mavron to express his sorrow. As mavron, as an Irish word, it means expression of sorrow. The man has died. He didn't know whether the man was dead or alive, but he expected the man must have been died. Mabron, the man has died while I slept on the chair. While I slept, yes, he did not go to bed. He was on his chair. Throughout the night, Peter Gilligan was on his chair. He was so tired. While offering his prayers to the Almighty Lord, he fell asleep. He did not go to bed. And when he opened his eyes, it was early in the morning, and he could find the bells of the temples ringing, or the birds, the sparrows, making chirping sounds. While I slept on the chair, the man must have died. So, without wasting any time, what did he do? He roused. Roused means roused. R-O-U-S-E-D. Roused his horse. Made his horse wake up out of its sleep. Out of its sleep. After waking up early in the morning, he went to his stable and made his horse wake up out of its sleep, and rode with little care. And rode with little care means no care what would happen to him, that he did not care. But he rode his horse at the fastest possible way to reach the house of the sick man. He rode now as he never rode. He had never ridden so fast before in life. He rode as he never rode by rocky lane. Lane, you know, narrow road. Narrow road. L-A-N-E. Narrow road. And fen. F-E-N. Fen means marsh. M-A-R-S-H. Or wetland. Whether the road was narrow or wet, that he did not care, but he rode his horse very fast, or he galloped his horse at the fastest possible way to reach the house of the sick man. Yes, he reached the house of the sick man. After reaching the house of the sick man, he knocked on the door, and the door was opened by the sick man's wife. The sick man's wife opened the door. Father, you come again. She was startled, she was surprised, she was astonished, finding Father Gilligan again early in the morning at her door. Early in the morning when she opened the door, she found, the sick man's wife found Peter Gilligan at her door. And that was the second visit of Father Gilligan to her house, as she had seen Father Gilligan attending her husband before his death. Of course, Father Gilligan had not gone to the house of the sick man, but the sick man's wife had seen Father Gilligan attending her husband and performing the rites of blessings before his death. Finding or seeing the sick man's wife, Father Gilligan asked her, and is the poor man dead? Is the sick man dead? That was what Peter Gilligan or Father Gilligan asked the sick man's wife. He thought if the sick man was alive, he would perform the rites of blessings before his death. That was the reason. As he was in a hurry, he could not understand when he was said by the sick man's wife, Father, you come again. Rather, he asked another question to the sick man's wife. Is your husband dead? Is the poor man dead? The reply he got from the sick man's wife was that he died an hour ago. So what was the reply of the sick man's wife? The reply of the sick man's wife was that her husband died an hour before. Then the old priest Peter Gilligan, in grief, he thought, oh, what a blunder I did in my life. I would have attended the sick man before his death and performed the rites of blessings before his death, which I could not do. So he felt very sad when he came to know about the death of the sick man, as he thought the man died without being performed the rites of blessings. So in grief, he spade. Spade means write down, moved to and fro. Spade means moved to and fro. In grief, he spade. S-W-A-Y-E-D. Spade means moved. Moved to and fro. Moved to and fro. Moved. Spade means moved or trembled. Trembled here and there. To and fro. When you were gone, he turned and died as merry as a bird. Then the lady of the house or the sick man's wife said to Peter Gilligan, "Father, after your departure from our house, my husband who was sick took a turn and breathed his last. When you were gone, and after your departure from our house, or when you were gone after performing the rites of blessings of my husband, he turned and died." And how did he die? He died as merry as a bird. As merry as a bird is a simile. She wants to say to Father Gilligan that her husband had a happy and peaceful death. You know, as long as a bird is in cage, a bird cannot lead a happy and independent life or free life. The moment the bird is let out of the cage, it flies freely in the sky as it leads an independent life, a happy life. Similarly, our soul, my soul is also caged, this body-like cage. This body-like cage caged the soul. And when the soul is released from this body-like cage, it moves towards the holy abode happily. If you are asked, explain as merry as a bird, so you have to write the answer. The sick man wanted to say to Father Gilligan, as the rites of blessings were performed of the sick man before his death, he had a happy and peaceful death. The old priest Peter Gilligan, he knelt himself at that word. Now he understood everything. That in his absence, God helped him. So he again came to the praying posture to offer his thankfulness and gratefulness to Almighty Lord. The old priest Peter Gilligan, he knelt him at that word. He who hath, here hath means hedge, H-A-T-H. Hath means hedge. Here he refers to God. He refers to God. God is the creator of this universe. And God has created everything that we find in this universe. God has made the night of stars. He who has, hath means hedge. He who has made the night of stars. Nighttime is made by God. Daytime is made by the God. And do you know why God has made the night of stars? God has made the night of stars for the souls. Souls means people. S-O-U-L-S. Souls means people. For the people who are tired and bleed. Who are tired and bleed means suffer in their life struggle. So night of stars is made by God for the tired people to take rest. And day is made by God for the people to do hard work, to do their toil. Clear? So he who has made the night of stars for souls who tire means get tired, and bleed means suffer in life's struggle, sent one of his great angels. God knows everything. In the absence of Peter Gilligan, what did God do? God sent one of his great angels to the house of the sick man to do the work of the priest, Father Gilligan. Sent one of his great angels down to help me in my need. So God sent one of his angels down to help Peter Gilligan in his need. As Peter Gilligan could not go to the house of the sick man to perform the rites of blessings, God sent one of his angels to do the work of Father Gilligan. He who is wrapped means dressed in purple robes. Robes means clothes. It has a symbolic meaning. And what does it mean? It means God is merciful. God is full of compassion. God is full of love. God is full of kindness. He who is wrapped in purple robes with planets in his care. All the planets are under the control of Almighty Lord. And he looks after everything without feeling tired. But we the human beings feel tired after working an hour or two. But see, all the planets, he takes care of all the planets, but he never feels tired. All the planets are under his control, and he looks after all the planets, but he never feels tired. He means God. God never feels tired, but we the human beings feel tired and complain after working 1 or 2 hours. Had pity on the least of the things. Least of the things means an unimportant creature. Peter Gilligan considers himself an unimportant creature in this vast universe. And God took pity on an unimportant creature like Peter Gilligan when he was asleep upon chair. As you know, God helps those who help themselves. See, he had never neglected his duty. Only once he could not do his duty. So God came forward and God helped him in his absence and did the duty of Peter Gilligan by sending one of his great angels. In our next period, we will go through another lesson. Thank you.